Hey everybody, good morning. I think I'm going to do these videos a little differently. So today, this is a Stihl MS-180C. Let me cover up this guy's name, but he brought it in, says won't start. His chain's super loose. We'll tighten that up for him. This is kind of a basic model. It's got the automatic chain tensioner thing on it. But let's throw it on the bench and we'll see if we can get it started up. And this might be the wrong way, but I like to put them in the vice grip and put it on the bar itself. That way I can work on it while it's in the air. Okay, so that's what it looks like on the table, on the vice grip. You can still run the chain this way, but we'll check all the normal things. Gas, spark, all the good stuff. Alright, so I keep getting pulled away from this one. So we're going to check fuel, make sure it has gas. We're going to try to start it before we go anywhere with it. And then obviously spark, air filter, all that good nonsense. So let's kind of get at it. Alright, so first off, does it have fuel? Yes, it has fuel. Now, sometimes with these, they might have did the wrong mix. That's always a thing. Sometimes I'll dump these out, but I think first we're just going to try to start it. And then your spark plug on this model is under here. Turn that, pop that off. Alright, good lord. I keep getting pulled away every time I even attempt to look at this thing. So this is where your, these are really simple models. So that's where you unlock it at. You pull this off. It's kind of hinged on the front. And then this is where your spark plug, your filter. The filter actually looks new. I mean, this is a newer saw, so that looks nice and clean. We'll check the spark out, but for now, a lot of the times people, they just don't understand how to choke it properly and how not to flood it. So we're gonna go with just basic starting first, and then kind of see what it's doing, if it'll fire up or not, and then we'll go from there. And obviously he'll probably need, we need to retighten the chain, and let's see how terrible I don't know if you can see, but I mean, they're not too bad. They definitely need to be sharp. So yeah, here we go. Let's pull it a couple times, kind of just see what happens. I'm gonna flip this camera. I can't do it on my screen for some reason. Hopefully you guys can see that. Get this cover back on. Relock it. Alright, so it's got fuel. So we are going to lock the choke with the throttle locked. Make sure this is not bound up. Alright, let's give it a couple pulls. Wow, this is the easy start too. Alright, nothing fully choked, so I'm going to assume it's probably a spark issue, dirty spark plug. So we'll go with, first we'll take the, I'll show you the spark plug and we'll take it off and see what it looks like real quick. Let's try to do this with one hand. I'm assuming this is going to be foul to some degree. Damn, that's tight. Hold on. Let me set you down for a second. God almighty. Actually, not looking too bad. Let's clean it up. Alright, Alright, we're going to take it over to the trusty grinding wheel. A lot of the times this is all it is, just dirty spark plug. And if this doesn't work, we'll just throw a new spark plug in it. Alright, that's about as clean as I can get it with that. We'll clean it with the wire brush a little more. And then spray some starter fluid on it and get it nice and clean. So I'll show you that here in just a moment. Alright, so that's after another like 10 seconds of wire brush and some starter fluid to clean off all the gunk. Now it could be this is just bad. So what we'll do now is we'll toss her back in here. Maybe tighten her back up. Maybe not as tight as they had it. It's probably as tight as it was from the manufacturer, honestly. Come on, go in that hole. Alright, then let's re-pull it and kind of see what happens. If that doesn't work, we'll try to change the spark plug. And then if that doesn't work, we'll try changing the fuel out. So let's do it one more time after tightening that. We don't need to necessarily throw the cover back on. It's still choked. This does not have a prime on it. Alright, still nothing. So let's change out the spark plug. If that doesn't work, we'll go for the fuel. Alright, so this will be the new replacement. It's a Bosch WSR6F, and it's made in Russia. What the hell? Is Bosch a Russian brand? Alright, anywho, let's throw it back in there and kind of see what happens. Brand new spark plug. It should do something, I would think. If not, then it's like 100% a fuel issue, I feel like. Also check for spark here momentarily. Alright, choke still. Alright, let's try to unchoke it. Nothing, not even an inkling of wanting to fire. So next we're going to dump out all this fuel, switch it out with some of the Stihl Premium 93 oil fuel mix and kind of see if that will be the ticket. Now this customer has two units. One's a blower, and then we got this MS 180C. So I'll show you the blower too real quick. This is the blower unit he also brought in. It's a Stihl SH56C, and this one also says won't start. So I think it's a good assumption that these might not have ran for a while. So let's change out the fuel in them. I always like to at least try to run them beforehand just to see what they do. So next step, fuel dump, new fuel. See if it starts. Okay, it's back on the bench after the fuel dump. We got fresh gas in it. let's try to pull it some more time and kind of see what happens. After that, we'll have to diagnose it a little bit further. All right. Well, we did some of the most basic stuff. We could always check. I don't know if this one has a, it probably does have a spark arrestor on it. We'll check that too real quick. But next we'll have to make sure it has spark and then kind of go from there. But let's, I'm gonna quickly pull this out and I'll show you and see if that's clogged. Sometimes when that's clogged, it won't start. Okay, so here's that spark arrestor screen that actually looks perfect. It was behind that little panel that dropped, which was behind these two screws right here. So it sits right there on the muffler. So that's also good. So yeah, next we'll check for spark. This one might involve a little deeper dive. We'll have to check some carb stuff. So yeah, let's just keep going. Okay, so next we're gonna check for spark. We got our handy dandy spark tester. I don't know if you'll be able to see this when it flashes, but we're gonna hook it up here and then kind of go from there and see what happens. Try to focus right here on this. Look real close, you can see it. Alright, so she does indeed have spark. We could always try doing a little bit of spray starting fluid down there and see what happens. Let's fuck it, let's try it. To unchoke it though, so it's open. There we go. So it's probably just starting on the fluid itself. And one more time. It wants to. Let's do it again. I think it's just old fuel. Pull it a couple times like that. And choke it. Gotta be faster. Half choke it. Try that again. It wants it. Alright, so it will start on starting fluid. More than likely it's a gummed up carburetor. So we might have to do a little cleaning of that. But I'd say carb is your issue.